But
you know what they're trying to do?
What?
They're trying to do Aldo and Nurmagomedov for a fucking interim 155. And I'm like, how do you have a 155 interim when Conor just won the 155 a week ago?
What about Max, though? What about Max Holloway?
Poor Max Holloway. Well, he's got the interim 145.
Such a shit show.
And Holloway is the one interim.
Because Aldo versus Nurmagomedov is sick.
Yeah,
sick.
Yeah, it's a great fight. Aldo versus especially when you see what happened with Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson stunned Khabib. You know, he stung him. He hit him and stung him. And Michael Johnson, with all due respect, is nowhere near the striker that Jose Aldo is. Jose Aldo's on a totally different level.
You think Jose's as powerful as Johnson?
It's a very good question because he's not as big. He's been fighting at 145 his whole career, and he's going to be fighting a fucking gorilla. I mean, they ain't nobody.
Russian gorilla.
There's a difference between Johnson's bottom game and Aldo's bottom game.
100%.
I'm assuming.
No,
100%. 100%. Aldo's will be way better. Also,
better.
Aldo's kicks, they're a giant factor because if Aldo, who has amazing takedown defense, fucking amazing. Aldo has some of the best takedown defense. So he's also got fucking nasty leg kicks. So if Nurmagomedov moves at him, what is this?
Who is this?
Who is this? What are you showing me here? Khabib Nurmagomedov slams UFC for lying to the fans about Jose Aldo, demands relevant fight against Turner. Why is he saying he's lying to the fans?
Let's see.
Let's see what he says here.
Oh, shit.
No, it'll come back on. This goddamn screen, dude. It's clear to everyone that you hiding Conor from me, but stop lying to your fans like I don't want fight with Aldo. I'm ready to fight with anyone in my division. Give me relevant fight so you won't. First of all, take your phone away from your sister. Somebody got this phone and making.
No, he's definitely doing it.
Do you think he's right?
The broken English is so rough, but I love it. It makes it more gangster.
Okay, you've never matched up. What is it? I can't see that, Jamie. This thing's in front of it. Oh, you never matched up two guys with a 9-8 win streak in UFC. Never in UFC history. Okay, that doesn't mean anything. See, here's the problem.
Sorry,
I see
Tony
what he's
Ferguson
saying.
is too expensive.
I see what he's saying, but let me explain why he's wrong. They need big, relevant fights to sell pay-per-views right now.
That's all they care about.
And here's the deal. The UFC was purchased for $4 billion. Imagine if you bought you own a place, right?
Correct.
You own your house.
Yeah.
You know what a mortgage is.
Sure do.
Mortgages are pretty cunty. You look at them every month and go, Jesus. You know, now if you have a mortgage for a nice house and you spend $1 million, that's a fucking nut you got to make every month, man. You got to think about it. You got to go, okay, we got the mortgages covered. All right. And then you move on with all the other bills, right?
Tell me about it, son.
Imagine a $4 billion house. What kind of fucking mortgage?
And how do we pay the bills? By doing huge fights.
Huge
So we
fights.
got to figure some
Huge
shit out.
fights.
Interim. Everybody get a
And
belt.
the reality is John Jones is suspended, and John Jones isn't even the champ right now. So when he comes back, he's not even fighting for a world title unless he fights for the world title. So you got to have DC has got to be healthy, or you got to have John fight for an interim because they're just throwing interims out like they're fucking flyers that they put on your car when dudes are trying to like sell car washes.
It's a good time to be in the UFC.
Dog, and my brother, if they don't start getting these fucking cards selling, they're going to be another season of Fear Factor is going to be added on pretty soon.
No, there's not. No, there's not. You're going to see CM Punk versus some Brad Pitt shit just to sell pay-per-views or some shit.
They'll do something, dog.
I don't know what they're going to do. Who knows if I'll be
But
even
you know
there
what,
for
man?
it. But when you look at like the title picture, who like that card that they have in Brooklyn. I mean, that's a pay-per-view card, and it looks like an FS1 card right now. I'm sure they're going to juice it up. They'll get more, but it's
You better be a die-hard fan to pay $60 for that shit.
It's hard. It's hard to make those cards. So I think we kind of nailed it when we were talking about it earlier. Like, what guys sell pay-per-views? I think Woodley is a bigger star now that he beat Wonder Boy, but he still wants
Not
that
a
big
pay-per-view, Joe.
And like Dana and I were having this conversation. He's like, you can't have Nick Diaz. He goes, Nick Diaz hasn't won a fight since 2011. You can't have him step in and just go right up to the title and
sells,
fight.
though.
That's what I said. I said, but I want to see it. And he goes, I want to see it too, but you can't just do that.
Sell it. Yeah, well, no one's going to take the sport serious if you give a guy who hasn't won since 2011 or 12, give him a title shot. Fans are like, come on, bro.
You
this
say
is
that,
so...
but I think they missed the boat if they wanted to make the fucking big money. It's Nick Diaz versus Conor McGregor.
No, he's too big, brother. He's too.
Whatever.
Come on.
They fight at 170.
Oh, come on. No, his
Conor
brother was
fought at
too big for
170.
him. His brother was too big for him.
Do you think he's too big?
Way too big.
I think that talk is nonsense because Conor's the 155-pound champ. Nate fought at 155 most of his career. He fought at 170 a couple of times, and he's undersized. Dong Young Kim beat him at 170.
He's a legit 170er though.
Rory
Especially
McDonald
now. He's
beat him at
older now,
170. Maybe, but he fights 155 easy. He looked great against Michael McDonald at 55. Tyron Woodley
looked great
can't make
against Michael
55
Johnson.
if his fucking life depends on it. Tyron Woodley's not making 55.
I know, and he's
So
entertaining that
the
fight.
champ can't make 155 at 170. Nate can. So Nate is not a real 170.
Now here's to your point, and Dana's point. He hasn't won a fight since 2011, and you have Conor, your cash cow, fight this monster who hasn't won forever.
It's a great story.
It really is.
I love a great
I would
story.
watch it.
Big brother steps in. Come on,
I would
son.
watch it. I would watch it, man. But to your point, they have to figure something out to get these stars.
It doesn't matter.
Because you can't do it overnight.
To me, it doesn't matter. You put Nick Diaz for what he's done out of respect. Who's going to complain? Really?
Well,
And-
apparently
and
they
if
offered
do-
Nick Diaz Robbie Lawler, and Nick passed on it. That's the word. That's the word behind the scenes.
Interesting.
Maybe I'm not supposed to say that, but I wanted to see that fight. I would love to see that rematch. But I think Nick wants a fucking title fight. You know, I think Nick is like, look, I want a big name or a title fight.
I love how they make these demands now.
He's got
I love
money.
it.
Nick made some money. He's not ridiculous. He doesn't spend it all.
Well, how about Nate? I'm not answering the call unless it's $20 million.
Yeah, we talked about
Get
that.
him, son.
We talked about that recently in the podcast. I was like, well, let's break this down because, like, let's say they do 1 million pay-per-view buys, which is like top end, right? There's only a few people that have ever sold 1 million. It's like Brock, Ronda, Conor. That's it. Okay,
it.
1 million is top of the food chain. So 1 million pay-per-view buys at $60. That's you're taking 1/3 right off the bat for Nate. It's really hard to justify giving someone $20 million for a
UFC's
fight.
not going to do that.
It's going to be real hard. Here's the other thing: when is Brock Lesnar back? I mean, if Brock Lesnar's suspended,
The first of never.
that's not true. When they
God damn it, son.
listen, he only got suspended for clomiphene. Like clomiphene, even though it is it enhances steroids, your recovery from steroids because it reduces estrogen.
Post-cycle therapy for steroids.
It's definitely not good. But it also exists in a bunch of different supplements, like over-the-counter stuff.
Hey, man, are you arguing he wasn't taking?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. What I'm saying is, how much time do you think they're going to give him off? Like, how much time are they going to?
How many times are we going to let him not do the USADA test and
Well, how
go
many
in there
time-
and beat up a guy?
But no. He will have to do the USADA test again.
He didn't
because the
last
last time he did it, they had a couple exemptions where they can get in on the 4-month thing that they built in case they wanted to make a big fight where they could sign somebody. So that one obviously blows up in their face, and he's going to get suspended. But how long? For how long?
I thought they gave him a year and $225,000 fine.
Is that what it is?
Pretty sure.
Okay, so that's from what? July?
Yeah, it's all.
That's
yeah, it starts from-
retroactive.
retroactive.
So that ain't that long from now. We're in January, February, March, April, May, June. 6 months.
then the heavyweight division needs him.
Fuck
you put
yeah.
him in
John
there.
Jones, first heavyweight fight. Brock Lesnar. Dude, you're welcome.
Yeah.
You imagine that fight?
The only
John
problem
would
is,
murk him.
do you think so?
Yes,
You'd murk him in the grappling?
I think you just completely
I
dominate
think
him.
fucking Stiopic would fucking rack him. You
Stipe?
piss that
Stipe
mother.
Miocic.
You piss that motherfucker
Stiopic.
off from Cleveland, and he'll fuck Brock Lesnar because he'll say it. You better do the fucking steroids. Stiopic is crazy. I
Miocic.
love that motherfucker.
Miocic.
Miocic, I love him. He's
love
got
him
that
too.
immigrant mentality. Bring him on.
Bro. He's
born
give
in
him more
America.
Give him more fucking steroid. What's that?
You want
He's
another?
born in America.
Yeah, whatever the fuck
Yeah,
he is, but his name is Miocic. Okay?
definitely born
And
and
he's
raised
got
in
that
Cleveland, Ohio, but whatever.
He's got that fucking crazy blood in him, and he don't give a fuck.
Croatian.
He proved it. Listen, he proved it with fucking Overeem. He
Verdun.
don't give a fuck. Put him in there with Brock
yeah.
Lesnar. Go ahead, I dare you.
The Brock that
He'll
fought
rip his
Mark
fucking
Hunt?
head off.
Yeah.
That
Afterwards.
juice to the gill, fucking
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar who just ragdoll poor Mark Hunt. Fucking guy.
Yeah, but Mark Hunt's never been the kind of grappler that Stipe is. Stipe's way
dog.
better at defending
Get Stipe
takedowns.
in there.
Oh no, I think Stipe beats him.
And you know what? If he punches Stipe in the face, it's going to get more steam out of his fucking ears.
When you saw
Go
what
ahead.
Stipe
He's not
did
Go
to
touching
ahead.
Mark
him.
I
He's not
dare
gonna
him to
hit-
bring back.
he won't land a
Brock
hit on
Lesnar ain't
Stipe.
coming back. Brock Lesnar ain't never coming back.
Well, he's not going to come back and fight for a world title right
No,
away.
but he ain't
You
gonna
don't think
come fight, bro.
No.
I think it'd be the only
That was the
way.
biggest embarrassment of the
Good Lord,
fucking
that would
year.
be crazy
That was
for
the
them.
biggest fucking embarrassment of the year.
Why would that be?
Embarrassment, bro.
What was embarrassing?
Just embarrassing him against Mark Hunt. They knew he was on the juice. He went in there loaded to the gills. It was just an embarrassing
Get him,
fucking
Joey.
thing. It was an embarrassing thing for everybody. And Mark Hunt had every fucking right to be mad. They put him in there with a guy that's coming off rocket fucking fuel. That dude just don't eat D-ball. Look at the size of his fucking head. He's taking shit that makes your fucking head grow. Okay? That's what they give to fucking pit bulls. I hope they put him against Miocic. I will fly to fucking Cleveland.
That gum is climbing out of your mouth.
He's so
Take a piece of
passionate.
paper.
I found this knot in my nose that was bigger than this gum the other day. I had to take the gum out to eat it. Anyway. I had a little thing
You
over
ate
here.
a booger?
Oh, it was so long. It was like a Coke booger. I got a flashback from the 80s. I inhaled that motherfucker anyway.
Why did you eat a booger?
Because I love him.
Ew!
I love them. From time to time, I have a little pimple
No,
in my
no,
nose.
no, no,
and I
no,
squeeze
no,
it, and it just
no,
comes out like
no,
a stream.
no,
and it's got like a little clam.
Dude,
It's like
I
a
was on
clam.
board with you with all the Steve
No,
Bay
no, no,
talking
yeah.
and shit.
Anyway,
You really
go.
eat boogers?
Listen, from time to time.
Oh, Jesus
When you do
Christ.
coke for 30 years, it's a habit. You wake up in the morning, pick one out. It's like a
Why
fucking
would you-
candy cane with coke on it. You inhale that motherfucker. It's like going to the dentist for free.
Oh, I will throw up on this fucking table.
Listen
I
to
swear
me.
Do you ever
to
do
God.
this? Do you ever do
I
this?
feel lightheaded.
Listen to me.
While you're eating boogers.
Let's be honest with ourselves. We're all friends here. That was the most embarrassing fucking thing I ever seen.
I agree.
They knew he was on it, and they put that fucking animal in there, okay? And you know what, man? Go ahead. Keep doing those steroids. Put him in there against Miocic. Whatever.
Miocic, for
I love
God's
that
sakes.
Cleveland motherfucker, dude.
Stipe. Just call him
He'll
Stipe.
kill him. He'll fucking kill him in general.
Stipe
I
will
I
would
don't
say-
think they would ever be able to have him come off a suspension and fight for the title. That's
what?
not how it goes.
They've done it
Bro,
before.
$4 billion. They'll eat a scab off an Iranian's head right now. $4 billion.